Hey, what's up, team? This is Eddie Gray, and if you've ever struggled with getting a authentic violin sound, perhaps you want to do something very expressive, very extemporaneous, but you haven't been able to find the proper VST or AU plugin to do the job. Well, I think I just found it, and it's called Stradivari by Native Instruments. We're going to go ahead and do the manual read through, get into all the details. If you're ready, let's go. Okay, well, here it is, Stradivari by Native Instruments. They also teamed up with a company called E Instruments, from what I understand, and they created this incredible software. It comes with a multi-mic version and also just the standard version. From the outset, I'm just going to play with it. It's got this incredible virtuoso mode, which kind of does a little bit of everything from what I understand. Again, we're going to go into the manual, read all about the various articulations and ways to get this to move. And yeah, let's just take a quick listen. All right, cool. So I was using the modulation wheel there and just to get a little bit more expressiveness. So let's get right into this incredible plugin. I'm going to go into the browser and close that up so we have a better look. And let's go into Stradivari Violin. Now, watch the introduction to this, and the way that it was made, the amount of care and attention that was taken to really bring this to life was absolutely outstanding. I'll let you watch the video as I won't do it justice, but believe me, they put in a lot of work. Here's a little bit of background. Stradivari Violin is a virtual instrument made with real-world recordings of Antonio Stradivari's Vesuvius violin built in 1727. Until now, only a select few have been granted the right to play this precious instrument. The violin itself is practically untouchable, guarded by armed security on display in the Museo del Violino in the birthplace of Antonio Stradivari, Cremona, Italy. So as you can see, a lot of attention, a lot of care into creating this instrument, which is part of the reason why I bought it. I think East West has some great iterations of violins, but as far as the single violin, I've never heard anything that really hit it on the nail. So yeah, really remarkable what they've done here. So here is the second paragraph here. During the meticulous recording process for this virtual instrument, the streets of Cremona, and forgive me if I'm saying that incorrectly, I've never been to Italy. Got a lot of Italian friends, though. Ground to a halt as the council closed roads, car parks, and urged the people of the town to remain as quiet as possible. Meanwhile, inside the auditorium, Giovanni Arvetti, designed by pioneer acoustician Yasuhisa Toyota, Hamburg's E Instruments captured every single note of the violin using 32 carefully selected microphones. Wow. Placed throughout the hall to provide this digital recreation of a historic masterpiece. The instrument provides 20 different professionally played articulations, each with up to 3 legato transitions. In addition, the innovative performance captured vibrato models the natural vibrato technique of a professional player. Yes. And the stereo phase aligned dynamic crossfades eliminate phasing between dynamic transitions. That sounds fancy and it sounds awesome. These features combine to make Stradivari Violin arguably the most realistic, true sounding solo violin there is. And again, I was just jamming. I've never actually played a violin. And if I can get it to sound fairly realistic in seconds, then I would say that that argument is probably true. All right, so here we are, page 3, chromatic sampling. We're going to go over the key features, all right? Okay, unlike most other virtual string instruments, which often rely on samples of only every other note of the instrument, Stradivari Violin features chromatic sampling, meaning that every single note of the instrument is a true recording. All playing styles and articulations have been sampled chromatically and therefore are playable with unparalleled realism without the need to stretch notes in between. Very cool. So obviously that's part of why this sounds a lot better. I imagine they also have like round robin and a bunch of other features, but yeah, this is sampled chromatically. Very detailed work if you've ever done any basic sampling. For all my Logic users out there, if you just use a quick sampler, that's a very basic form of sampling, but they're going all the way with this. All right, let's read the next one here. Phase aligned stereo samples. So this technology allows you to produce natural, vivid violin performances. Seamless, phase-aligned, velocity crossfades on long articulations, eliminates phasing when transitioning between dynamic layers. Very cool. So in other words, it's not going to sound weird. If you guys know what phase sounds like, it could be good in some regards, like chorus or microphase, but you can also get those spaces in music production where it just doesn't feel good or doesn't work right. It kind of like puts you in a weird headspace. All right, performance captured vibrato. One of the Stradivari Violin's highlights are the real-life vibrato performances performed by the best virtuosi. The captured performances are reapplied into the sampled content, allowing you to produce highly authentic and dynamic vibrato performances. In many other virtual string instruments, the vibrato has been included within the sample. Oh, okay, gotcha. And therefore can only be turned on or off. Stradivari Violin allows you to control vibrato depth and speed dynamically, allowing for dynamic and realistic vibrato performances. I wonder if that's with... Just playing with the pitch wheel, I was wondering if that did that. We will see. A comprehensive range of articulations. Again, 20 different articulations. That in and of itself right there is maddening. That are divided into long, short, expressive, dynamic, special, and adaptive articulations. In addition, 3 different legato transitions can be found within the articulation controls. The virtuoso articulation intelligently combines multiple articulations depending on the velocity, note, and pitch bend information you generate through your MIDI controller. So when I first started, I was using the virtuoso articulation, and it combines all these various ways of playing depending on how hard or soft I play. Right? There's pizzicato. I'm doing that with the pitch wheel. Really cool. The virtuoso, yeah, I read that. Fantastic. And the next one, intelligent fingerboard positioning. Dial in the perfect timbre for long articulations. Choose the low string fingerboard position. So this is nice. You can determine where they play. I know other VSTs and AUs do this, like cinematic strings allows you to choose the position. So that's nice. If you want it to be soft, mellow, or tone, you would use the low string fingerboard. And if you want it to be brighter, more vibrant, then you would use the high string position. Or opt for the smart position, which intelligently selects the closest fingerboard position to the other notes played as a real violinist would. That's pretty sweet as well. Let's keep going here. We've got multiple microphones and blendable microphone positions. So we have a multi-mic version of the instrument provides mix faders that let you adjust 3 separate mix downs of the 32 microphones. Mix close, mid, and far mic positions. An included second version of Stradivari Violin provides a stereo-only mix that's lighter on your CPU. That's the one I'm using now. And RAM for a speedier workflow and extra focus when composing. So that's cool. Maybe you start off just by composing, setting up some basic ideas, and then later on in the mix process, post-production, you can use the multi-mic to get detailed. The characteristics of a perfect room. So this software instrument was recorded in an auditorium. As stated, this special performance space is part of Italy's Violin Museum. The hall has been specifically designed with these precious instruments in mind. Blend in the noise floor captured in the auditorium to place your Stradivari in the perfect acoustic space. So they took a lot of care to make this instrument. That's kind of the point. All right, let's get into it. Super excited. So what's included? Again, we've got the standard violin version, which is a stereo version that is ideal for saving computer resources. You can sketch out ideas. And then we have the multi-mic version, and I should read this. To control and fine-tune the balance between different microphone positions and mixes, as well as the room noise of the recording space. Read more about the mixer and room noise controls in the mixer chapter. So we're going to go deep, my friends. So really the only visible difference between the multi-microphone and stereo NKI interfaces is the mixer tool, which is not available in the stereo version. So pretty basic. All right, here is the GUI. Top left, we've got the mixer. Number 2, performance controls. Number 3, in the middle are the articulation slots. Okay, so I'm sorry, number 2 is just this box here. So you've got dynamics and vibrato. And then number 4, position controls. And we've got high, low, and we can also opt for the smart option. All right, let's see if there's anything with the mixer that needs to be noted. Obviously, we can change the balance between the different microphone blends in the multi-mic version. You can also control room noise. This is particularly important if you want to create different blends. Like you can hear in this song here that you might want something to sound drier or have more space and ambiance. You want it to sound a little bit more wet, and so that can give you that control. I'm just using the stereo version now. We'll go into the multi-mic in a bit here. All right, so note that the mixer controls are only available in the multi-mic as stated. Performance controls, that's number 2. Control the dynamics of the violin performance with seamless and flexible dynamics and vibrato controls. Cool. I love it. We're going to get into that in a bit. Again, 20 different articulations, all pretty clear. This is very well laid out. Obviously, this native instruments, these guys are at the top of their game. 4.3 articulations, very cool. All right, let's get into the articulations as a whole, okay? So it says here Stradivari offers 8 articulation slots, which can be found in a panel. Right here they are: virtuoso, detach or detaché, may I say, staccato, pizzicato. Let's hear the difference between those. Let's see. When on the main page, you can choose the active articulation by clicking the corresponding articulation slot. And let's just look at that really quick. So if I'm in the virtuoso mode, here, let me put that right there. Okay. And you know what? I need some volume here. Okay, sorry, my mod wheel was down. That's why I was playing so intimately. All right, so that's virtuoso mode. If I go into this other detach or detaché mode, right, so the violin player will strike the bow and the string and then let go kind of with Very cool. So if I did that here, that would be different, right? Goes into that expression mode. Here, it's just you're getting the performance. All right, that's cool. Here's staccato. All right, very cool. Let me turn on low latency mode. All right, here's pizzicato. Sounds very authentic. I love that it's not too wet from the outset. A lot of these plugins, in my opinion, will sound super wet just to kind of get it to sound more realistic. But this sounds really nice, very pretty. So I can touch this panel, or I could just use the appropriate key command to switch this. So now I'm in virtuoso, this detached bow, here's staccato. All right, let's move to pizzicato. Okay, and then I have a couple of blank slots. Obviously, you know what's coming. We click here, and we can select the necessary articulation. And again, they're categorized under long, adaptive, short, expressive, and dynamic. Here, let's keep reading. So the articulation browser can be accessed by clicking on this symbol in the top right corner. All right, and it looks like this. Here, let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Nice. All right, so looks like you get to determine the key switch as well. Got a couple different features here. It looks like you can MIDI map. All right, let's start reading. So again, everything's categorized. Key switching. All right, so we can switch using key switches that are assigned to a MIDI note of your choosing. Using the key switch selector to choose the desired note for the switching to the selected articulation. So by default, set to C1. Alternatively, you can also click the MIDI Learn button and set the key switch by pressing a key on your MIDI keyboard or controller. So here, let's try that. I'm going to hit this. Let me see this here. Let me go down an octave. So I'm going to click here. All right, and then if I hit that, let's see, did it do it? There we go. So you can see that I set an articulation there. See if I do this again. There's another one. All right. So we're starting to see how that works. In the main page, the active key switch is visible in the top left corner of each articulation slot. So in the main page, yeah. Is that what they're saying? Let me go back to this slot. Hold on. Okay. The active key switch is visible in the top left corner of each articulation. Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. So what they're saying is, hey, if you want to access this articulation, you have to hit G1, or if you want to access this one, you have to access, yeah. So that all makes perfect sense. Let me move back. So here is, for example, C1, D1, E1, F. Right, all right. Let's keep moving here. Page 9, Stradivari Violin allows you to control and force bow changes when playing certain articulations. Set the key switch for controlling bow changes using the bow change selector. Okay, so this is cool. Downstrokes, upstrokes. Let's see, what else do we have? Alternatively, you can also click MIDI Learn button and set the key switches by pressing a key on your keyboard. All right, so not only can we control articulations, but we can control bow changes as well. The active key switch for bow change is indicated with an illuminated key. Purple is the default in the keyboard section located at the bottom of the contact. Okay, so here, let's just look at this really quick. Let me go. Oh yeah, no, this is what I was going for here, and I'm gonna say, okay, I can set the bow change to be. Let's do. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on. Let's go E0. Okay. So let me hear this. So yeah, when I hit the bow change, you can hear that the way that the bow is hit is a little bit different. I still don't exactly understand how that's happening, but here, let's get into it here. I wish I had more. So it allows you to control and force bow changes when playing certain articulations. So perhaps you want the staccato to be more aggressive or something. Here, let's check that. Let me go staccato. All right, and then I'll hit the bow change. Hold on. Yeah. All right, still working on that. Not exactly sure how that works. Oh, wait, I have to turn it on. Is this not? Oh, maybe it doesn't apply to staccato. Okay, cool. So let's go to this guy. And then it's on E0. Here's E. Okay. Yeah, still not hearing it. Hopefully we can get into some application here. But it's just like an articulation, and we'll figure out exactly how to make it work. So let's see here. See the section legato and bow change controls available. Okay, cool. And then here's a little side note. If you hold a note down long enough when using a longer articulation, such as sustain or legato, Stradivari Violin performs the bow change automatically in a natural. Okay, so that's kind of cool. If we hold down a sustain or legato long enough, basically that will happen on its own. Let's see if I can trigger that. Here's sustain on G1. Yeah, so you can hear the bow changing directions there. Pretty cool. Where is... Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Jeez. Okay, let's keep going here. Con sordino. This allows you to play the violin in a sordino or muted style, which produces a completely different timbre. Use the con sordino switch to enable the damper. So I did a corporate gig for a television station. They invited me to teach all the music supervisors about what we do as composers and producers, and put on a 6-week workshop detailing all the ins and outs. And I actually brought a live violin player, a great violin player. His name is Steve Chiu, and he's also a great erhu player, Chinese violin. And he showed us all the ins and outs, and he showed us how this works, right? And so he would bring out a small gadget and just place it on top of the violin, and when he played it, it would mute the violin and it sounded a little bit different. Now there's different kinds of these muting styles, and then they do create different timbres or different tones. So yeah, I got to see this in person. It just dampens the sound. Sounds really interesting. So let's try that out real quick. Let me go ahead and all right, this is with the mute. So yeah, it just sounds a little bit warmer. Here, let me play it higher. Here's without. So if you want something to be up in front, you're not going to want to use this element. And of course, if you want to maybe, push it back in the mix, if you will, that could be a good method for you. This is a very deep instrument. I'm so not used to playing with string instruments, that have this many options. So pretty cool. All right, we're going into legato modes. If you want to perform strings and perform them well, you got to learn the legato stuff, right? Long articulation style offer the choice between different legato modes, which define the transition from one note to the next when playing a legato. So there's different legato modes, and depending on which one you choose, they define the transition from one note to the next, right? So you can either glide up or use portamento, or just play two separate notes, or you can do... Oh wait, I'm not in this mode, so this would go... You can hear, right, the violin player's kind of taking his time to get to the next note because it's in a different position, and then he slides up. Absolutely wonderful, geez. All right, so yeah, you click the respective switch to choose which legato mode. So right here in the bottom is where we have the legato modes right here. So we have fingered legato, bowed, and portamento. All right, let's check those out. So it's up to 4 legato modes. I don't see the 4th one, but I'm sure it's coming. Here we go. Change fingered. Change the note without changing the direction of the bow. Change the note without changing the direction of the bow. So you've got just one sustain all the way across, allowing you to play multiple notes without rebowing, right? So they're striking down. It's just one position without going back up. So fingered would sound something like... Whereas bowed would be the direction is changed simultaneously with the note change. So every time I play a new note, we're playing a new bow change. Okay, that's fingered. Here's bowed. That would probably be more natural with a passage that goes that moves as quickly. Whereas if I play that same line, yeah, this one probably sounds a little bit more realistic right here. Nice. All right. Portamento. The note changes are performed with a glide, simulating how a violinist would slide a left-hand finger on the fingerboard to move between notes. Let's try that one out. That's absolutely gorgeous. That's what we've been missing with this kind of instrument, to be fair. Yes. Man, that sounds fantastic. Jeez. Gets me excited. All right. And then finally, rebo changes the note with a new bow stroke without audible finger movement of the left hand. So, rebo. Legato mode cannot be selected in an articulation style. See the section of legato, bow, and change control available for each articulation. Okay, cool. So this is not an articulation style. That's what they're saying here. Yeah, and then just one more thing. I'm assuming that what they mean by rebo is the bow change feature up here, where you can select where this is going to happen. Again, I don't know exactly. Let me see if I can access that. One sec. Where is that? Here it is. There. Yeah, okay, I heard that. Awesome. Okay, you see what's going on there? I'm holding the note. I'm sustaining it. Let me get out a portamento so this makes a little more sense. That makes sense. Okay, so you change the direction of the bow when you hit this key command. If you're in sustain and legato, and I yet to find legato here, but we're getting there. Here we go. Long articulations. So sustain means to play long sustain notes. Choose the desired legato mode using the legato selector. All right, so this is the official term here, the legato selector. We have con sordino. We can mute these. We've got all the various articulations here. We are in the articulations page. Otherwise, we have the main frame here where we can designate a patch, if you will. But let's stay inside of this articulation page. All right, so it looks like we are getting into more articulations. So here are all the long articulations. We've got sustain. Number 2, we've got marcato, and then detache. Again, I don't know how to pronounce that, so forgive me, but you understand what I'm doing here. Marcato, you play the accented notes. Notes played in marcato are played with a stronger attack compared to sustained notes. So what we get when we choose marcato is just an initial attack and then a sustained. Okay, choose the desired legato mode with the legato selector. All right, let me go to marcato. So it's right here, and I can now choose the necessary legato. What was the phrase here? Mode. All right, so you have the articulation and then legato mode. Let's see if we can. If I just play sustain, you don't get that first initial hit. Again, we're in marcato. You get a little bit more bite. Yeah, really cool. All right, so we've got sustain, marcato, and then this detach bow. Each note is played with a separate bow stroke, as we've been talking about. Looks like this happens automatically, perhaps. Faster bow strokes make this useful when playing faster passages. The bow changes are smooth and not accented. Ooh, let's try this. Choose the desired legato mode. Oh, cool. So we also have a legato mode with this. All right, let's see. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I also know that if we buried that in a mix, got it in there, squeezed it in, that it would sound absolutely convincing. Maybe you pair this with something else. But yeah, you can totally hear it. Yeah, it sounds absolutely stunning. All right. So those are the long articulations. We have short articulations as well. So here is something, I think it's pronounced sawtill, single alternating bow strokes. When part of the bow jumps or hops on each note change. Compared to the similar spiccato articulation where the whole hair of the bow leaves the string, sawtill allows you to play faster passages as the hair of the bow stays on the string. Similar. Okay, so with spiccato, the entire bow leaves the string. And with this technique, allows you to play faster passages as the bow stays on the string. All right, let's check it out. Ooh. Wow. All right, so that sounds absolutely realistic and lovely. Allows you to play faster passages when using shorter articulations. I love it. Spiccatissimo, shorter and more accented version of the spiccato. All right, let's check that out. Yeah, nice, really nice. Clean. Very nice. All right, cool. So next is spiccato. This is alternating bow strokes. The hair of the bow bounces off of the string. So that gives you a little bit of effect. Let's see. I'm looking for the hold on. Hold on. Is this thing? Where's E0? Oh, jeez, hold on. All right. Oh man. Okay, there it is. Gee. Here we go. All right, hold on. Let me go back to spiccato. I was just wondering if that was a factor, but it doesn't look like it. So yeah, really cool. That's a whole nother sound, right? pretty much all I got to say about that. The just reaction time, expressiveness, realism, outstanding. Staccato, a short, non-bouncing bow stroke where the bow does not leave the string. All right. So with spiccato, it bounces off of the string, and with staccato, it just stays. And this is a sound that we've all heard and know very well. Let's see. Nice. Very good. All right, and then pizzicato string is picked. We've heard this already. It's picked with the index finger of the bowing hand. Pizzicato creates a very different, almost percussive sound. Very playful. We've used it on the channel. By the way, if you love the content here, please do me a favor. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and also go ahead and refer a friend. If there's somebody that's new to production, they're seasoned perhaps, and they just want another take, another look at this, I would love to be able to show them what we're all about. Resources for the modern creative. Thank you guys very much. All right, so looks like we've got a note here. The loudness and dynamics of the short articulations can be controlled via playing MIDI notes at different velocities through your DAW or MIDI controller. So this is something that looks like you can play in yourself in terms of how soft. Or, of course, you can probably use your mod wheel or another controller. So let's see what else they got to say. We have another set of articulations called expressive. All right, we've got tremolo, trill, ricochet, this saw-till, and then we'll keep moving here. Tremolo, the note is played repeatedly with no specific accent with fast alternating bow strokes. Use the speed control to change the speed of the tremolo strokes. All right, so let's see if I go into, or tremolo. Let's go a little faster. Get some volume. Sounds incredible. Jeez. And it looks like, well, here, let me not make any assumptions. Let me keep reading. Use the bowed, legato, and rebo selector to change between a bowed, legato, and a rebo transition. That's what I figured, but here, this is, so bowed means that it's the same bow, right? It's just playing with one. And then what would rebo mean then? Okay, that I don't understand. I need some clarification there. That would be nice. To change between a bowed legato, but see, what's not clear to me is, like, are we talking about tremolo or not? Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. But let's see. We're on trill. Two notes are alternated in quick succession, either on a half note or whole note range. Whereas a trill is just on one note. We're basically, kind of going back and forth with, if you ever heard like Eddie Van Halen play, any guitar player, they kind of like pick up and down. So that's the sound we're going for. Again, we can use the speed knob this time, not a slider. That's interesting. I wonder why. Let's check that out. That sounds ultra fast. Let me see. It's pretty cool. And it looks like you can choose portamento, and rebo. So you see how the violin slid up, right? That makes sense because I'm selecting the specific legato mode. If I choose rebo, essentially the violin player will start all over. So that makes complete sense. Maybe that's what I missed on tremolo, where when we transition, yeah, maybe it's the same, whereas, yeah, I don't hear it, but hit me up in the comments if you understand that part. I just don't get any extra verbiage here, but I'm sure it sounds awesome, and I'm sure it's based on the rest of this and how it's been built up, sounds outstanding. Interval velocity is a threshold value where the trill range changes from half note to whole note. So depending on how hard you hit it or where you set it on a MIDI rotary knob or slider, the value implicates the velocity of the MIDI notes played on the DAW or with the MIDI controller. For example, if the value is set to 64, MIDI notes below this velocity will trigger a half note. As soon as we get up to higher than 64, we will trigger a whole note. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and play with that. So I'm definitely playing below 64 here. So that's a half note, and I'll go over. Pretty sweet. That's nice. That gives you a lot of control. That's really nice. I've never seen that done before. Again, you can use portamento or rebo in as your legato transition. Here is another articulation called ricochet. Several notes are played with the same bow direction while the bow is bouncing on the string. Okay, let's listen to this. Yeah, I've seen this. The bow kind of slaps on the string and they just kind of let it go. Let's see what speed will do. So it's an interesting effect, that's for sure. Yeah, let's go really slow. Yeah, it sounds more like a sound effect to me. I mean, how often would you use that? But I'm sure there's an application. All right, sautil notes played repeatedly. Roger that. Let's check it out. You play with the speed. All right, cool. So it just sounds like a kind of set pattern. You can click tempo sync, which will sync the notes to the tempo of your DAW. Well, that's pretty sweet. Let's check this out. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, sounds really nice. I guess this would be double time. I don't know if I'd recommend that. Hey, sounds really nice. It works. Sounds very clean, and I'm sure would sound very realistic. Here, let's see if I could maybe use this real quick. Hold on. What are we doing here? See. Here, let me lower lower this one a little bit. Raise that one up. Yeah, you could see that kind of being the background. That's not the right notes there, but you kind of get the point. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, all right, I digress. Let's get right back on it here. So when tempo is synced, click the multiplied by one switch to play the notes in sync with your DAW's tempo. Good. When tempo sync is disabled, you can use the speed slider. All makes sense. Use a modulation wheel or MIDI CC number 1 to control the dynamics of the expressive articulations. So obviously the mod wheel plays a big part, and you get to designate what and how it expresses itself. So I'm going to go with crescendo. Got the mod wheel ready to rock. Let's try this. Really nice. All right, looks like you can designate the speed as well. Let me go all the way up. So that's rather quick, right? Let's go really slow. Let's keep going here. Diminuendo short. The loudness of the bowed note decreases gradually. All right, use the speed control to adjust the speed of loudness. All right, let's try this out. So diminuendo. All right, here we go. Okay, let's do long. Nice. All right, let's go change the speed. Wow. All right, so we've gone over dynamics, various articulations. Here is special. So we have sol, pont. Notes are bowed close to the bridge, resulting in a different timbre. I remember this. This sounded really eerie when we were doing it. Creepy, huh? Yeah, I remember the violin player I was telling you about. We did the corporate gig. He started playing in this, and you could hear all kinds of hybrid orchestral ideas start to just kind of come out. You know, you could hear like a new kind of composer, you know, a hybrid composer come out, and that's a pretty cool sound. If you're looking for that edge, sol tasto, notes are notes are bowed near or over the fingerboard, resulting in a very soft flute-like timbre. I actually remember this one as well. This was pretty sweet. Entirely different texture, Another great option, sounds awesome. Harmonics are played with placing fingers gently on the strings, resulting in harmonic overtones. So the fingers are laid gently on the strings, and now we get harmonics. Let me bring that down. Yeah, you talk about yearning and longing, huh? Check this out. I mean, that right there could just be a sound effect as well, right? All right, here's collegno. I don't know how to pronounce that. Notes are played by striking the strings with the wooden part of the bow. So they flip the bow upside down. Sounds super playful. I guess it could sound insane if I played a weird chord. Check it out. Yeah. Yeah, that could be a nice percussive element in a song as well. So yeah, we're striking it with the wooden part of the bow as opposed to the hair or the front of the bow, resulting in percussive notes. Wild. Okay, we're in adaptive mode. So this is the acclaimed virtuoso mode. It's a performance mode that intelligently combines several articulations. So this is really, in my opinion, the star of the show, right? Virtuoso is a great way to perform realistic violin performances on a MIDI keyboard or sketch ideas quickly and efficiently without programming key switches. Here's some of the features that make a virtuoso a unique performance tool. All right, so notes with the low velocities. Velocities 104 and under will trigger notes played with sustained articulation, while notes with higher velocities will result in notes played in marcato. So that's kind of cool, right? In fact, let me see if I can highlight that. Yeah, cool. Sometimes it's good to just keep track of some of the details. Maybe you want to look back at some point. By default, when playing legato notes and lower velocities, the note transitions will be played in fingered or bowed legato style. So that's also good to know. Legato notes with higher velocities will trigger portamento. So that makes sense as well, right? Because you're going up the fretboard and up the neck of the violin, so that makes sense. Use the legato style selector to change the order of the aforementioned styles. So you can change the legato style if you want to change that, so that the lower velocities will trigger portamento and their higher velocities will result in fingered or bowed. That makes sense. Cool. The legato style selector for virtuoso articulation. Here, let's go back to that. So let me get out of this main screen, go to where's virtuoso? Right here under adaptive. And so it looks like here is where you would change that. Okay, pretty easy. And you can determine the velocity right below that, or to the right, should I say. Use your MIDI keyboard or your pitch bend control to adjust the playing style between spicatissimo and staccato articulation. So in virtuoso mode, the spicatissimo and staccato articulations are controlled via the mod wheel. Okay. Well, that's interesting because I believe I'm in virtuoso mode and I'm using the pitch wheel to control staccato and spicatissimo. So I'm not sure what that means right there. That's a little confusing. And the mod wheel is controlling the dynamics. So anyhow, all right. So go over all of the various articulations again. Sustain, marcato, spicatissimo, spiccato, diminuendo, harmonics, soltasto, great stuff. The detache articulation has no automatic bow change, so notes end when they are played long enough. Makes sense. However, you can change the bow direction manually with the bow change feature. Here, you know what? I got to check that out. So with the detach, let me move. Hold on, I don't. But yeah, good. Change that. Whoa, I don't even know what happened there. It looks like there's... Anyhow, let's keep moving forward. Performances, and you know what? Let me reset this. Just give it... let's initialize this. See, do I have presets here? Oh, check this out. Nice, couple different presets. Here, I'm just going to initialize this. Start from scratch. And actually, you know what? Maybe I'll pull up the multi-mic while I'm at it here. That's going to take some time. All right, so state-of-the-art dynamic performance feature and stereo phase-aligned samples allow for seamless and natural sounding transitions and cross-fading between notes, dynamic layers, and velocities. The performance panel is located on the lower left-hand side of the main screen. Let's look at that. Dynamic controls and vibrato controls. Pretty cool. Performance controls are located in the lower left, and we've got two separate sections. All right, let's take a deep dive into that, and okay, so there's a little screen that's dedicated to that. Pretty sweet. Use a dynamic slider to control the volume and dynamics of the performance. To control the dynamic value, use MIDI CC number 1. So that's my mod wheel there. Nice. I can control the expression, so it's not as intense. Sounds gorgeous, man. All right, I love that. The position of the slider is indicated in the bottom left-hand corner of the main toolbar. This control can also be used to control the dynamic slider. Sweet. So you can use your mod wheel, or you can use your mouse and just play with that. Dynamic control can be seen and adjusted in the main toolbar. Yep, made that clear. You can also use a MIDI controller as stated. Adjust the expression slider. Okay, use MIDI C11 to control the expression value. Okay, I was just looking at which CCs were in front of me here. So we also have expression, it looks like, to control the volume of the performance. And volume is different than dynamics per se. Here, let me show you. See, that's just volume, whereas I can have this really high, but the dynamics be really soft. Check it out. So there's other components, whereas if I do that the other way around, this is just volume coming in strong. So it's almost like the difference between signal and volume. But yeah, expression is just basically a volume slider. So do you want that performance to be like loud, or do you want it to be really quiet? Because if you want it to be quieter, then bring the expression down and then do something like this. Right, cool. All right, I think we cleared that up. The position of the sliders in. Yep. Okay, cool. Then we've got vibrato here as well. Again, you can use CC11 for expression. You can also use this short articulation drop-down menu, which is right here. Whoops, hold on. Okay. So I can determine if I'm going to use my MIDI controller to get the expression, or if I'm going to use velocity. So, I can get different performances. I'm still, yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me because I'm still using the pitch wheel to access that. But here's vibrato. Say we want no vibrato. Gorgeous. I love it. All right, this is style. Oh, we can be intense. Let's check this out. All right. Really nice. So yeah, you got different performance modes. What's narrow? I guess like emotionally kind of just not intense, not too big. What's evolving? This looks cool. Wow, geez. Okay. I gotta move, guys. I'm gonna be here all day. All right, so here's vibrato. Is one of the most recognized ways to inject emotion into a violin performance. Stradivari Violin features performance captured vibrato performances which are reapplied into the non-vibrato samples. It lets you adjust the speed of the vibrato seamlessly and in real time. All right, cool. So you got rate, which allows you to change the rate of the vibrato under MIDI CC15. Again, you can map all these to control the vibrato rate. You also got the vibrato slider. This is set to MIDI CC14. And then finally, the style. Vibrato styles. Oh, okay. So I thought this had to do with the performance style. So this is the vibrato style. Very cool. Changes the vibrato style. All right. The depth of vibrato is also indicated in the bottom left-hand corner of the main page, as you can see there. This is a nice layout. Very simple, clear, easy to understand. Let's go into 4.6, page 17. All right, let's click the upper right-hand corner of the position. And let's see what we got here. All right, we got high string. So that would be under high. Low would play the same passages. Sweet. Sounds outstanding. I'm listening through my cans. I can't even wait till I listen through these on my Atom speakers. I'm stoked. All right, so yeah, pretty obvious. We got the high string. Again, brighter, more metallic. Stay on top. High string. If you want something to be lower, softer, more delicate, intimate, stay in the low register. And then finally, once we get into smart, this intelligently chooses the most realistic fingering for the notes played. So it's making decisions for you. You got to love it. When playing chromatic passages, the smart mode chooses to play the notes on the same string when possible, just as a real violinist would, yielding realistic results. In contrast, when playing a motif moving around different strings in the same area of the fingerboard, fingering on a different string is preferred intelligently and realistically. If you've ever seen a violin player, you know exactly what they're talking about. It's like modes, depending on what you're playing. If it's an arpeggio or if it's just a simple line on top, if you need something that sounds more emotional, they nailed it on I'm telling you, on the head. I mean, they got it down to a science here. So the interface just shows you where the finger and positions are in real time. The dim dots show alternative finger and string positions, which can be forced by enabling another finger preference with the preference selector. Something I should have said is, force open strings. Let's check this out. So there's a feature here where you can key switch for forcing the open strings using the force open strings control. Why would you want to do this? It's a different timbre or texture altogether. You can also use the MIDI learn button to activate this. And then what does it say up here? When playing notes, the dots indicating the finger positions can also be seen in real time on the lower right hand side. Okay. So the active key switches for force open strings is indicated with an illuminated key, green. So we've got articulations that are in red. We have the what was this called? Sorry, let me go in here. The bow change, which is in purple. And then in green, we have the force open strings feature. Let me see if I can activate this. Hold on. Hold on. Keep mixing up here. Let me just do this. All right, so you can hear that. This one sounds warmer because there's a finger on the fretboard. But when I play this one, it's open. There's more reverberation, right? The tone is open, so it's going to sound a little bit different. And this is a sure sign that they thought about everything. Let me tell you, if they thought about the positioning of the neck and open strings and bow changes, they did a phenomenal job. They took so much care to make this right. It's outstanding. 10 out of 10 right now, honestly. All right, so Stradivari Violin comes with the both positions as we've talked about. We're currently in the multi-mic position, so let's see how we can access the mixer, which is right here. Looks pretty simple, right? Pretty just simple interface. So increase the room noise. Let's kill the room noise. Let's bring the far mics down. Oh, I love this. Just love that it's right there in your face and you're not stuck to just listening to this while lovely, just very wet sound. Yeah, sweet. 11 out of 10. Really nice. You can deactivate each microphone mix by clicking on the knob, I would assume. Lovely. Simple interface. You got to love it. This is my favorite ones, to be honest. I don't love looking at a lot of stuff. You have a pan pot for it to pan. Love that they give you the option. Here's some room noise. The mixer panel does not include separate effects controls. Well, that would make sense because you guys spent all that time miking it. And so the room noise was captured in the historical auditorium, as we've talked about, removes digital silence even with longer pauses between notes. It provides a great way to glue a violin performance together and give it an extra hint of realism. So yeah, the room noise is a good thing. I just like that there's an option. That's it. Because sometimes I just want like a second violin playing something in the background and just complementing the first violins. The room noise, oh wait, I already read that. Sweet. And now we go into integration and how all of that works again. Red keys. Here, let's do some highlighting here. Articulations. Bow changes are in purple. If you wanted to, you can just, there you go. And then the green here would be the force open strings feature. I'm telling you, they thought of everything. The blue keys indicate the range of notes. Yeah, let's go into what is, oh, okay. So looks like inside of complete control, this is the way the GUI looks. So it looks a little bit different. You got kind of everything on the front panel, expression, style, preference. So it's all here. They give you some options to map it out as well. Very cool. And then when we go into automation, that you can find here. So actually this is good. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Expression is 000. Vibrato is MIDI CC1. Vibrato intensity 2. So it's good to have these just at the ready. This is a VST AU that I'm going to be using a lot, just because of how just realistic and just wonderful it sounds. So yeah, highly recommend that you get into that. So again, going back to the parameters, following MIDI CCs are either pre-macked or used internally by Stradivari. So here, check these out. Dynamics is number 1. Expression is number 11. And this is all customizable. You can customize this if need be. There's some open-ended options there. And it looks like they have some presets or snapshots, which allow you to access different types of sounds and panning setups quickly. If we go into the multi-mic setup and we go into the snapshot right here inside of Contact, we've got long multi-mic, orchestral seating lounge, orchestral seating shorts, orchestral shorts, and then Stradivari Violin multi-mic. Use the orchestral seating snapshots to place Stradivari Violin in a conventional orchestral positions, pan to the left side of the stereo field. So that's pretty cool. They did some of the work for you rather than you having to pan. You can use the settings. So under, what did they say, orchestral seating? You can see in the mixer that they've panned things over, because that's where a violin would usually sit in the orchestra. All right, so these are a couple presets, orchestral snapshots. I will go ahead and take a look at those. Much respect to all of these wonderful engineers, just wizards. This was an absolutely outstanding plugin. I give it, again, 50,000 thumbs up. I highly recommend you check it out. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Eddie Gray. Go ahead and follow, like, subscribe at Eddie Gray Music on Instagram. And if you want to check out what we're up to at hfmusicacademy.com, we've got a bunch of free resources for you. So thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time. We know who you are. We love you. We respect you. And remember to keep your frequency high. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Cheers.